Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Jason Mattis. Thanks for joining me as we break down the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets game today. A 27-17 win earlier today by the Buffalo Bills. That's right. If you guys read my article I put out earlier this week on Buffalo Down, or if you listen to the pregame show that I do on Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, predicted a 31-10 score there for the Bills. I was pretty close to that. Jets just got that late garbage touchdown. Bills obviously 4 points off of 31, but real close to getting the exact score exactly right. I did on the pregame show on Thursday afternoon give out that. Obviously, you guys can see, and you clicked on my name so you can see that I also do sports betting and sports betting advice. I suggested putting a bet for the Bills to cover the 6.5-point spread. So got that to cash if anybody took that bet along with myself, as they covered 27-17. So look again for that to come out next week on Thursday, and also another article on Buffalo Down. I also put out feature articles throughout the entire week, so make sure you're checking that out over at buffalodown.com. Let's go ahead and jump on in here and analyze this game today. I'll just do it like in a good, the bad, the ugly kind of way. And I've also got the comments section up, so in between each of those sections, I will go on in there and read any comments and see if you guys are saying anything as we move through the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So the good, hey, how about the Bills? They started off fast for the first time. They've struggled in that under the Sean McDermott tenure. They're a really slow first quarter team, even a first half team, but that wasn't the case today. They got 14 points in the first quarter. They got 21 points in the first half, and they may even get a little bit more because they didn't punt in the first half. The two times they didn't score, obviously, were Josh Allen fumbles. So credit the Buffalo Bills. That has definitely been kind of a stigma on this team, something that's kind of held them back and made them claw their way back. I mean, give the Bills credit. They have some fourth quarter comebacks, especially, up under Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, but it's not something you want to do on a regular basis, right? It's really tough to win games, and you just don't want to be digging yourself a hole, digging yourself a monumental task to get out of week in and week out. And the Bills, like I said, they did good this week, getting the 14 points in the first quarter, 21 points overall in the first half. It does help that the Jets were just really unable to do anything against this Bills defense, and we'll certainly get into that. But we got to give credit where credit's due. At least terms of the scoreboard, Bills got out to a nice start in the first quarter and the first half. They were even able to continue into the second half. Look, they only punted the ball once. In the second half, they put up 4 field goal attempts and go along with 1 field goal. So just a really nice job, I think, overall by this Buffalo Bills offense of being consistent throughout the entire day, of getting drives. Like I said, we know that they had 2 field goals that were missed, but they were getting in the Jets territory, either cashing in on the red zone or converting them into field goal opportunities. So just a really good job. And I mentioned that only had the 1 punt. The 1 punt was for 53 yards, so a real nice, solid punt there by Borquez. Let's move on to another good, and that's Josh Allen. How about a 300-yard day, Buffalo? You finally got a 300-yard day. You guys haven't had one of those since 2016, week 16. It happened when Tyrod Taylor up against the Miami Dolphins was the last 300-yard game. I'm not a big stat guy. As long as you win, that's all that really matters. But it is worth noting in today's NFL, pass-happy offenses, quarterbacks all across the league are getting 300 yards. So it is just worth mentioning, even though, I don't think it's too significant how you win. But the Bills did kind of get that monkey off their back of getting a 300-yard day. They get asked about that by the media from time to time in press conferences. And, it's something that they have to answer, and they've been unable to do that. But like I said, Josh Allen, 312 yards, went 33 for 46 with a 72% passer completion. That to me is more impressive than the yardage, right? Like, again, I don't really care how you get points, whether you're running, you're passing, what have you. He completed 72% of his passes, though. That was good. He got Diggs involved. He went 8 for 86. John Brown chipped in 6 for 70. Beasley had 4 for 58, and the running backs combined for 8 catches for 39 yards. So just a really good game there by Josh Allen, spreading it around to all of his targets. John Brown was really big there in the first half, largely in part because of what Diggs can do. We've talked about Diggs on the pregame show and the attention that he can, draw and free things up. It looks like that was what was kind of happening there earlier on with Brown getting really involved. And then Diggs, he definitely chipped in there, towards the second half, getting most of his 86 yards there. So that was really good. And if you did follow me on Twitter, it's at WinningBetsPod. I tweeted out that the over-under for Stephon Diggs receiving yards was at 51.5, and I went ahead and played that. And I don't know if any of you guys tailed me on that pick, but that was another cash right there. So Stephon Diggs, you knew he was going to have a big day. First day in the Bills uniform, you know he was going to want to shine. He had the most catches. He had the most yards. Welcome to Buffalo, Stephon Diggs. The fans are loving to have you there. Like I said, Josh Allen, 72% of his passes. That was really, really good. Some little errant throws. Some of them got a little away from him. Some of them, caused the receivers to stretch a little bit. And, they call them hospital throws is what some people like to call those throws. But, yeah, that happens from time to time. Give Josh Allen credit. Completed 72% of his passes for 312 yards. And the pass protection was really good. That's worth noting too, right? Anytime you have a big passing day of up over 300 yards, normally you got to credit the big man up front. And that's exactly what's got to happen. We'll talk about the run blocking a little bit later on, but the pass blocking was really good. Multiple times where Josh Allen is able to dance, kind of really go through his progression, go through multiple reads, find the open receiver, and make the accurate throw there for a completion. So good job by the offensive line, the Hogs up front. Good job, Josh Allen. Way to get a 300-yard passing day. First for the Buffalo Bills since 2016, week 16. All right, Buffalo, great job. All right, one more good before we move on. We got the Bills defense. I called this perfectly on Thursday's show. Almost to a T how the Bills defense would shut down the Jets. I even said what the Jets' only weapon was going to be, and that was Crowder. That's all the Jets had. I told you how Crowder was a huge slot weapon for the Jets, really a slot weapon in the entire NFL. Jamison Crowder is one of the really top-notch slot receivers. He was obviously going up against Taron Johnson and the Buffalo Bills in the slot, and he was going to have his way more times than not. He got the big play there for the touchdown, but other than that, that was it. I told you Le'Veon Bell, Frank Gore was going to get shut down. Perryman was obviously going to get shut down by White if that's the way the Buffalo Bills decided to go. When I was talking about it on Thursday, it was always going to be Crowder, and that's all the Jets had. Jets' offense looked absolutely terrible. That Bills defense was great. 2 turnovers, interception, and a fumble. That fumble was at an absolutely huge moment. It was 21-10 at that point in the third quarter. The Jets were getting all the momentum. It definitely looked like they were going to claw themselves back into that game. The game had really flipped at that point, and then the Buffalo Bills come up with a really, really big fumble there. So that was a big one. And then again, the interception. So 2 turnovers in a game. I mean, that's just outstanding. You get 2 turnovers a game, you're more than likely going to win. They didn't win the turnover battle because, unfortunately, we'll get to a little bit later on. We know Josh Allen had some fumbles, but they got 2 turnovers. That's big, and 3 sacks. I even thought the one, coming out of the halftime there, by Mario Addison was a really big sack. I kind of looked like, again, Jets were going to build a little momentum there, and Mario Addison there with the big sack shutting that drive down. So just really good job there by the Buffalo Bills. That's what I found was good, is a nice fast start, overall good offense, only 1 punt. Josh Allen 300-yard day, and just a dominant performance by that Buffalo Bills defense. Combine that with the weak Jets offense, but hey, you got to credit that Buffalo Bills defense. All right, let's jump on in the bad. Before I do so, let me jump on here in the comments, see what we got. We got Breezy saying, dude, you're a GOAT. Great weekend tailing. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Sounds like Breezy won him some money. Do you post weekend picks every Thursday new to the page? All right, so what we do on Thursday here, at least in terms of the Buffalo Bills, so I'm a writer over at Buffalo Down. So to go along with sports betting, I do 2 things for the Buffalo Bills. On Thursdays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we do a pregame show for the Buffalo Bills. And then obviously right here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights, I do a post-game wrap-up show. All the sports betting, though, I do that every day. I usually get the videos up sometime between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. is when the videos will get up, depending on how I feel about today's baseball slate and soccer slate. Anywhere from 2 to 4 bets a day. Soccer is my go-to. Baseball is obviously in season, and we'll pick up football. For football, I'll roll out my football bets on Sunday. So that's kind of how I'll do that there, Breezy. So definitely bets come out every single day. Went 5-0 on the weekend on Saturday, went 3-0 in NASCAR. So just had a phenomenal weekend there betting. But let's get back to the Buffalo Bills. Let's turn to the bad, and we got to start with Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmunds. Oh, Milano with the hamstring, Edmunds with the shoulder. Listen to Sean McDermott's press conference after the game. He gave no update on that. Not too surprising. I listen to every single press conference Sean McDermott does, and he really doesn't give injury updates until Monday. He likes to let that kind of play out, so to speak, and then talk to the trainers Monday morning when he gets in. So no update from McDermott, unfortunately, on Milano and Edmunds. Terrell Dotson, too, also went down. He's the backup to Tremaine Edmunds. So Buffalo Bills losing obviously two top, starting calibers linebackers in the NFL. Milano, one of the best premier linebacker coverage guys over tight ends and running backs, and Edmunds there. Obviously, he's the quarterback on the defense there. So if those guys can't go next week, it's a hamstring for Milano. So, they even sat Vernon Butler this weekend. He was inactive. So, Bills are always cautious with hamstring injury. Josh Norman was put on IR for another example about how they kind of do hamstring injury. So the Milano one could be big as they go through, teams with better tight ends and running backs. Because Milano, like I said, he's an excellent coverage there and linebacker there in coverage. And then Edmonds with the shoulder, don't really know. He kind of went off and, the equipment came off, jerseys came off, shoulder pads came off relatively quick, at least in terms of my opinion. So that's not a good sign, but we'll just wait and see what Sean McDermott says on Monday. I listen to all the press conferences, so you can follow me on Twitter. It's the Twitter for the is at Lock of the Day 1, at Lock of the Day 1. We'll see what Sean McDermott has to say, but not good right there from the Buffalo Bills, losing two starting linebackers and then Terrell Dotson again too. We don't really know, but that would be a big blow because he's the backup to Edmonds. So that's one thing that was bad in this game. Another thing that was bad in this game is the Bills' run game. What happened, Buffalo? I mean, come on. You have Singletary. He was a really dynamite running back there last season. You had Zach Moss. You drafted him. He looks like he's going to be really good. But just a really slow developing runs. Everything just kind of looked out of sync. I mean, Josh Allen was the best runner today for the Buffalo Bills in terms of how he looked running the ball, but also in terms of yardage, and that's not good. If Josh Allen on a more times than not, obviously the running backs will have yardage more often than not, but if Josh is – if you're sitting here 16 games and let's say Josh Allen's the leading rusher anywhere from 4 to 7 of those games, that's not going to be good. I bet Josh Allen is going to get hurt in that scenario. So the Buffalo Bills need to rectify that. They need to get production out of Singletary and Moss. They need to get that run game or the run blocking scheme a lot better. Like I said, I credit the pass blocking, but that run blocking, man, that was just no good. So hopefully that's something they can work on this week. Because, again, if Allen's your leading rusher, it's just not going to be good. They'll be turning to Matt Barkley. Josh Allen will get hurt at some point this season if he has to run the ball, 2 more times than not coming on. And you don't want to take that away from Josh Allen. I mean, I talked about it on the pregame show on Thursday when we compared Josh Allen to Darnold because they were both selected in the 2018 draft, and both of these teams were rebuilding at the same time, drafting their quarterback in a similar draft. So we talked about how the Bills got it right taking Allen. Well, they didn't take Allen over Darnold because obviously Darnold was off the board. But in terms of how the Bills came out of that draft, they were much happier. We like Josh Allen. His running ability adds that strain and that stress on the defense, but you don't want to lean on it like that. You don't want him to be your leading rusher. You want him to put the strain and stress on the defense, not to be your leading rusher. So that was definitely something bad that came out of that game. Another thing bad in that game, what about Tyler Bass? Man, just not a way you want to start your career, missing your first 2 kicks. I know. I guess there was one positive, I guess, you can get out of it. Again, listen to Sean McDermott's press conference after the game. He liked that Tyler Bass made the last 2 field goals, and Sean McDermott called them game-sealing kicks. The one happened at 21-10, and then the other one happened at 24-10. So he called them game-sealing kicks. I understand what Sean McDermott's doing there. He's trying to get some confidence in his rookie kicker, and when he comes over, be like, oh, that was really a good pressure kick. It wasn't like it was all that pressure. I mean, I understand what McDermott's trying to do. He needs to kind of build that confidence and, instill that trust he has in this kicker. But, man, just not a way to start off that career, even in that range that we talked about where he struggled a little bit in training camp from that, 35 to 50 range. He makes his money within 35, and obviously everybody knows he's got a big, strong leg. So, he loves kicking on 50 and plus, but man, that first one that he missed right there, I believe it was 38 yards, just not really good. So good bounce back though. Give him credit. It was a good bounce back. He doesn't have to worry. They're not going to call in a kicker. They're not ringing up Stephen Hauska's name because you can't call Stephen Hauska. If you call Stephen Hauska and he steps through that door, you're not sending the message to Tyler Bass like they did last season when Stephen Hauska was struggling and they called in some kickers and that kind of woke up Stephen Hauska. You can't do that with Tyler Bass. If you bring in Stephen Hauska, you're calling him up onto the roster and you're going ahead and signing him. So I don't think a kicker is going to walk in the door, but this is definitely something to monitor. I even talked about this on Thursday's show, how he obviously didn't have any preseason game and you just didn't know what you're going to get from him. So he needs to have a nice bounce back game there against the Dolphins. So we'll definitely monitor that. And there's swing plays too, right? Kind of like when you get a turnover and the other team's able to capitalize. Well, missed field goals are the exact same thing. You think you're getting 3 points. The other team, you miss the kick and the other team, now gets back on the field. Their offense just got a TD after the first one. Their offense was struggling all day long, miss a field goal, boom, Jets get a touchdown. Missed field goals are just kind of, you can come in and treat those suckers like turnovers in the NFL, really big swing plays in the NFL. So just something Tyler Bass is going to have to work on. And they were all hitting the left up, or not hitting the left upright, but man, just barely, narrowly getting in. What's he doing? Is he owe money to that left upright post? And he's got to be aiming for it? What is going on? So I don't tell Bills fan about wide right. So anyways, hopefully Tyler Bass can get that under control. All right, those were my points that are about bad. Let's jump on in ugly. But before, let's see if we got any comments. Okay, good. And by the way, Breezy, I didn't mention it. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate you dropping in that comment there. I wonder if you want to, before I move on, I'm going to talk about the ugly. Let me know what you tailed it. You said great weekend tail on my bets. I'm wondering which one you did. Like I said, I went 3-0 in NASCAR, went 5-0 overall there for the weekend, or 5-0 on Saturday, 3-0 in NASCAR Saturday. Hit the Bills bet, hit the Stephon Diggs over. Just kind of curious which of the ones you tailed. All right, let's move on to the ugly. It's all Josh Allen and his fumbles. Oh my God, what is he doing? This is his Achilles heel. He needs to have better possession and cherish that ball like it means everything to him. He can't be doing this. He's killing drives. Bills have a chance to really blow this game out in the first half, as far as I'm concerned. That game could have been 28-0. Should have been over. And yet he has these fumbles. He's got to do this. And the worrisome thing to me is, okay, so Josh Allen had 2 fumbles. Let's say John Brown had a fumble and Dawson Knox had a fumble. It wouldn't hurt as much as it does with Josh Allen. He's the leader of the team. He's the quarterback of the team. He's the dog. He's the fight. He's got that, he looks in his players' eyes. I mean, he is a real bona fide leader in the locker room and on the field, the way he rallies his troops up. So when he fumbles, it's just so devastating to that team when he makes a fumble. So he's just got to correct it. And I've listened to Sean McDermott on press conferences last season, when he's asked about it, and he's like, "Oh, we're trying everything we can in practice." That's the most disheartening thing is, they try everything in practice. I mean, they didn't really obviously have an off season, no OTAs. We know all that. So they only had a training camp, but they worked on it in training camp, and yet he still is fumbling. So I don't know how they correct it. I guess is a worrisome thing for me, because I know how much it eats at Sean McDermott that he's causing fumbles. I know it eats at Josh Allen that he's also having these fumbles. So they're trying to correct it, and yet they just keep popping up. And I'm not getting to that notion of, well, there was no preseason games, so no player had been hit. I mean, these guys did live scrimmages in training camp, and also they know what they need to do. They got to tuck it. It's not like you saw fumbles in every game and stuff. So I'm not buying that excuse of there was no preseason game. Josh Allen, this is an Achilles heel, something he just absolutely must work on. Swing plays again, much like the missed field goal. After one of his fumbles, the Jets got a field goal. So again, you're driving, you think you're getting 7 points, boom, fumble, whoop, right back the other way, and the Jets want to go ahead and get a field goal. So I don't know. That's going to be the ugly. That's the only ugly in this game, and it's a big, big ugly. Just not sure what the Bills are going to do to correct this, but they better get it sorted quick, because you don't want to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hand. We don't want Josh Allen to be in the leading rusher, but we also don't want to take the ball out of his hands. That is a huge weapon. Just look at how much time they do have Josh Allen run the ball, because he is so effective. First play or first touchdown, boom, Josh Allen. I mean, it is dangerous what this man can do on his legs. He's up there, top 5 running quarterbacks on all the NFL, behind Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson's. Boom, maybe then it's Josh Allen. It's a dangerous weapon, but must fix the fumble. So that's a little upsetting. Let me see if we have any more comments. Okay, we do not have any more comments. So, all right, guys. So that's it. Congratulations, though, to the Buffalo Bills. A dominant performance overall, just like I thought it was going to happen. Defense was great. Offense was really great. Missed field goals, ugly fumbles. Yes, they'll get it corrected, hopefully. The run game, hopefully they'll get that sorted out. To me, the biggest thing is definitely going to be those injuries to Milano and Edmunds. If you're talking multiple weeks, I mean, I mean, I don't. I'm sitting here thinking two best players on defense. I mean, oh no, you got Tre'Davious White. Okay, so number 2 and number 3 best players on defense. If you lose these guys for multiple weeks, oh man, I don't know. And hopefully Terrell Dotson, his injury is not too long in his own case. Like I said, he's the backup there to Tremaine Edmunds, so that's going to be something to really monitor. Again, I'll be listening to Sean McDermott's press conference tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. But don't forget, we'll be back Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll preview the Dolphins game. We'll do it here on YouTube Live, so you guys can comment in with the comment section. And then next Sunday, again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is the post-game show. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Winning Bets Pod. It's at Winning Bets Pod. If you want to tail me on any daily picks, sports betting advice comes out every day. And that's it. All right, guys. Oh, and my article's over at Buffalo Down. Go ahead and check them out. And there's tons of great writers over there at Buffalo Down. You'll love the content, right? 24/7. It's all Buffalo Bills over there at buffalodown.com. So go check it out. I'm Jason Mattis. I'll see you guys Thursday at 3:30 p.m. when we break down the Dolphins game. Have a good night.